Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Unitarian Congregation of Mendon. My name is Matthew Merriam, and with Reverend Patricia Hash, I'm going to be playing today Beethoven's 14th Piano Sonata, the second movement.
Good morning, and welcome again to the Unitarian Congregation of Mendon and Uxbridge. Welcome to you, however and wherever you are viewing the service with us today. Today's opening words are by Kathy Rian Starr. Welcome to this place. Welcome to this place of peace. May we find some moments of quiet contemplation. Welcome to this place of celebration. May our hearts soar with gratitude for the gift of life. Welcome to this place of sacred love. May we gently hold all that is broken here. Welcome to this place of inquiry. Here, may we be challenged to open our minds and hearts ever wider. Come into this place of community. May we, together, draw the circle of love and justice ever wider. Welcome to this sacred place. Let us worship, celebrate, grieve, and love together. We will now have the chalice lighting. I invite Peter to come forward and light the chalice for us. These words are by the Oberlin UU Fellowship in Ohio. We light this chalice to find inner peace, love for each other, and faith in ourselves. Also to be welcoming to whomever we meet and kind to all living creatures. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Please join me for the unison affirmation of this congregation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Typically, at this time in the service, we would light candles of joys and concerns. However, in this virtual format, we will do that later in the service. So all of you that are viewing online are invited to send in your joys or concerns or milestones in the live stream chat on YouTube or on the contact form on the website. And I will light candles for those things at the end of the service. Our first hymn is called Light One Candle. This is a Hanukkah song. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate this holiday. It is also a song about peace. Thank you, Matt. Instead of a story today, I'd like to share a poem with you. This poem is by Rumi, the Persian poet. It's called The Guest House, translation by Coleman Barks. I chose this poem because I think it really relates to peace, even though the word peace does not appear in the poem. The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Greet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. It is now time for the offering. Thank you for all who give of your time, your talent, and your treasure to this congregation. We appreciate each bit of care that's shown in whatever way you can show it. There is a PayPal link for those who are able to donate online. The offertory today is Peace Like a River. And when I sing this with congregations, I ask them to change the lyrics slightly. I ask them to sing, "We've got peace like a river," instead of "I've got peace like a river." "We've got joy like a fountain," instead of "I've got joy like a fountain," and so on. So let's think together of peace and joy as we hear this hymn. Thank you, Matt. It is now time in the service where I invite you into a time of meditation. There are actually two different opportunities for a time of meditation today. One is included in my sermon. But for this time, I invite you to listen to the sounds of my singing bowl. It makes a meditative tone, as many of you know, and it is a time to simply breathe and settle in and center yourself and hear the sounds of the singing bowl. Feel your heart beating, and breathe, and know that you're together in community, however and wherever you are. After the singing bowl, we will then hear Spirit of Life. Amen, and blessed be. Today's sermon is called, Let There Be Dynamic Peace on Earth. At this season of the year, our thoughts may turn toward peace. Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus, who grew up to teach the ways of peace. Jesus was a teacher and healer in a town of no consequence in a Roman-occupied Jewish territory. He was not royalty. He never wrote a book, never had political ambitions, didn't have much money. And yet this simple carpenter who was born in a manger stands for peace for a lot of people around the world. Jesus taught about peace. He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers." Jesus also said something radical. He said, "You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Additionally, Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world." I'd like you to remember that Jesus said that you are the light of the world, when you hear it again at the end of the sermon. Also, for the first few hundred years of Christianity, nowhere in the written record is killing ever justified, not even for soldiers. So I believe the early Christians kept holding that standard of peace. Something changed along the way, of course, with the event of Constantine and all the things that transpired after that. But Jesus stood for peace then, and Jesus still stands for peace now for many, many people. Today, I'd also like to tell you about another visionary of peace, an unlikely visionary. Ashoka the Great lived a few hundred years before Jesus. Ashoka was an Indian emperor who ruled most of the Indian subcontinent from 269 to 232 before the Common Era. He initiated a number of ruthless military conquests. After Ashoka initiated a horribly brutal war with more than 100,000 people having been killed and thousands more deported, the other kingdom was completely plundered and destroyed. As the story goes, one day after the war was over, Ashoka ventured out to roam the city, and all he could see were burnt houses and scattered corpses. This sight made him sick, and he cried, "What have I done? If this is a victory, then what is a defeat?" The brutality of his conquest and witnessing the mass deaths of the war led him to a personal transformation of adopting pacifism and Buddhism. He repented from waging war. He dedicated himself to spreading Buddhism across Asia. Ashoka embraced nonviolence, love, truth, compassion, and tolerance. He treated his subjects as equals, regardless of their religion, politics, or caste. Neighboring kingdoms were now treated as well-respected allies. Ashoka took a war economy and turned it into a peace economy. Often it is said that Gandhi was heavily influenced by Christ and Tolstoy. And of course, there were other influences on Gandhi, but it seems obvious that Ashoka was also a significant influence on his life. As a friend of mine once said, Ashoka must have called out to Gandhi like a lighthouse calls out to a lost ship. His vision for peace was so powerful, it changed the world. Ashoka imagined how his world could be different, and he put his actions behind his imagination. We may feel powerless in the face of all the problems and wars on our planet, but we are not. Peace really does begin with us. When we embrace peace in our own hearts and minds, we are taking the first step toward bringing peace to the world. Inner calmness will help create gentle speech and will prepare us to choose beneficial actions, and our caring and empathy for others will grow. As we bring this peacefulness to our interactions with others, we will be starting to create ripples of peace. Just like those ripples, if you throw a pebble into the waters of a pond or lake and you see the ripples go out, we too can create those ripples of peace. In our ever-shifting world, peace will never be an absolutely permanent thing. As they say, there is no constant but change. Our world, and we ourselves, are always changing. People change the way they think and feel all the time. Our perceptions and even our values change. Those of us who have lived more than a few years can look back and see how we have discarded beliefs and habits that suited us for a time but no longer do so. And now we have beliefs and habits that suit us now, but maybe we are restless, looking for further growth and positive change in our lives. Or maybe we're not actively seeking positive change, but we will change because everything and everyone changes. We will inevitably be different than how we are right now. In this shifting climate of human experience, there will always be conflicts and differences. We need peace practices that are adaptable. What is peace? Peace is not the absence of anything. It is something creative. Sometimes I think people think of peace as an absence, the absence of war, the absence of conflict, just an empty field, something boring. That's why some people say they don't want to go to heaven. Who wants to sit around in the clouds and maybe play a harp if they're lucky? That's not how I understand peace. Peace is something people build with their imaginations and with the work of their hands. Peace is dynamic, as it is characterized by change, activity, and progress. When I think of peace, I also think of the Hebrew word shalom, which is a more holistic way of thinking of peace, because it not only includes peace, but also well-being and health. Shalom. It's a very good word. It's a good word for us to wish one another. I wish you shalom. Also, I want to note that peace and justice are closely related. So when we do things to stand for justice, that we're actually working for peace as well. What practices can we build in our lives to bring more dynamic peace to ourselves and to the world? The things we dwell on in our minds often make a great difference in how much peace we feel. Several years ago, I realized that I could change my self-talk, that when I had negative and unpeaceful talk in my own mind, that I could replace that with positive and peaceful and affirming talk, and it's made a great difference in my life. Also, there are many different kinds of meditation that can help us build more peace in our lives. Like peace, some people think meditation is about nothingness, simply emptying your mind to the best of your ability. That is one way to meditate, and it may be very helpful. However, there are also many other ways you can build some meditation and mindfulness practices into your life. I talked about some of these last week as well. I'd like to lead you in a guided meditation again this week. This is a heart-opening meditation from Buddhist teacher Jack Kornfield that I've slightly adapted. I invite you to sit comfortably wherever you are and be at ease. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Sense yourself seated here in your seat or your pew, seated here in the mystery of human life. Bring a kind attention to yourself. Feel your body seated and your breath breathing naturally. Feel your breath go in and out. Now I invite you to think of someone you care about and love. Someone in your life, a family member, a dear friend. Then let natural phrases of good wishes for them come into your heart and mind. Traditional phrases may include, may you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy and peaceful. Next, I invite you to picture a second person you care about. Anyone in your life that you care about that comes to mind. And express the same kind of good wishes and intention toward this person. You may wish they be safe and healthy and peaceful. Now imagine that these two people that you love and care about are offering you their goodwill. Picture how these two people look at you with care and love as they say, may you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy and peaceful. Take in their good wishes. Take in their care. Now I invite you to turn those good wishes toward yourself. Sometimes people place their hand on their heart or somewhere else in their body as they repeat the phrases, may I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong. May I be happy and peaceful. With the same care, I invite you to let your eyes open if you've closed them, and look around the room and offer your goodwill to everyone around you. If you are viewing this in a room by yourself, think of your family or other people who are near you. Think of spreading this goodwill to everyone around you in whatever context you're in. Feel how great it is to spread the field of loving kindness and goodwill. Now think of yourself as a beacon, spreading this light of loving kindness like a lighthouse in your home, around your neighborhood, around your town, even further through the country, around the world. Let yourself become more expansive in your wishes of goodwill. You are the light of the world. How far out can you go in spreading this goodwill? I invite you to think and imagine, may all beings far and near, may all beings, young and old, beings in every place, be held in great loving kindness and peace. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be happy and peaceful. You can do this kind of exercise wherever you are, whenever you like. Thanks again to Jack Kornfield for the exercise that I have slightly adapted. Guided meditations can be very useful. You can do walking meditations, coloring meditations, or even do a meditation while you're washing dishes. I would love to hear the things you do to build more peace in your lives. Let us all learn from one another and grow together and work on building a peaceful life and a peaceful world together. As the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, if there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Let us spread these ripples of goodwill and peace that radiate from our hearts and go outward and make a great difference in the world. Amen, and blessed be. Sam, Ben, and Celia. Congratulations, Sonia. Bill writes in, a candle for those who are peacemakers, who seek nonviolent compromises with love and understanding, that all people have inherent worth, dignity, and equality. From Bill, candle for the peacemakers. Days ago, I was contacted by a man who has a connection with the congregation here, not a parishioner, but who has a connection. And he asked me to come yesterday and bless a wreath that he was taking up to put on his parents' grave in Maine. His mother, who he was very close to, had passed away, and his father had passed away 30 years ago yesterday. So I blessed the wreaths for them, and I want to light a candle for his parents. Their names are Della and Ronaldo. And we think of Della and Ronaldo, and also this man and his family as they grieve their losses and they celebrate their memories. Also, I heard of a man who has cancer this morning from a parishioner here. I don't know his name, but I would like to light a candle for him as well. A friend. And finally, Sandra writes in a candle of remembrance for a client who passed away this week. So we're thinking of Sandra's client and wishing peace to the family after this season. And I'd like to find a candle for those things that remain unspoken in our hearts and minds this morning. I have a few announcements. We had a great wreath sale last week, and we still have a few wreaths available. So please contact the church. You can do that through the contact form on the website if you'd still like to obtain a wreath. We have a few left over. Also, I want to give a big thanks to the wreath team. It was wonderful working with all of you. A special thanks to Chris, who worked so hard on decorating the wreaths. Also, Bill, who helped. Thanks to Ken and Sonia and family, who had the original idea and who helped in various ways, including acting as Santa and bringing in the folks from the street. Thank you to Bear and family. Bear and family did a lot for the resale. Thanks to Peter, who helped in various ways. It was just really great, and we got to know some neighbors from the community, and let's do this again next year. I have 3 other announcements. Some of you may have heard there's a mindfulness hike at West Hill Dam today at 2 p.m. Our parishioner Ron is leading this, and we hope you can come out. We have good weather for it at 2 p.m. at West Hill Dam. We hope to see you there. Finally, I want to tell you about the next 2 services. We're in for a special treat next week because Matt is leading a special holiday music service with a lot of Christmas music and other holiday music. He has a drummer and a sax player coming in, and it will be interspersed with a few readings as well. But it sounds like it will be a wonderful time. Hope you can join us. Finally, Christmas Eve. We're trying something different this year. We're having an outdoor, socially distanced Christmas Eve service at 4 p.m. on the church lawn. So it'll be a shorter service, and we hope to share some cheer. We'll sing some carols and hopefully have some lights and a few readings and a good time. So I hope you can come out. It'll be family friendly, and we'd love to see you, whatever your relationship to the congregation is. Come on out and join us, and let's celebrate Christmas together. Finally, we will extinguish the chalice, and I have chalice words to extinguish it by Martha Munson. We extinguish this chalice here that it might still glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. The postlude today will be O Tannenbaum. This is a very old German tune, as many of our carols and hymns are. It goes way back. It was not originally a Christmas song. It was just simply to celebrate the fir trees in winter, and seemed appropriate for this service. So thank you, Matt, for leading us in that. And let's have the benediction and the serenity prayer first. We have gathered in the spirit of community. We have reflected together in faith. We have lifted our hearts in love. Let us go now to carry these gifts into the world. Go in peace. And let us join together in saying the serenity prayer, as is the tradition of this congregation. And I look forward to the day when we can hold hands and say it together again. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.